Hello, all Region Orchestra members. My name is Raul Munguia, and I am the principal viola player of the Arkansas Philharmonic Orchestra, and I also teach at Pitt State University. And right now I'm going to be demonstrating the viola part for Cadet, and I will just talk about all of them at once in one video, so feel free to stop it as you need it, and if you need to just go back, just please rewind it. I will give you my advice on how to practice it and placement of the bow, and there are a couple of fingerings that I would like you to explore, but the final decision will be between you and your teachers, but I will follow what's on the page and as much as I can, but there are a couple of things that, you know, sometimes by using a fourth finger it's a little better, and I think everybody that is going to be auditioning for our region can manage with the fourth finger. So this is the viola part for cadets, the Jolly Sailor English Sea Chanty, and this is a quarter note equal 110, and that sounds like this. So just at first glance you can see that we start forte, and then by bar 9 you have a mezzo piano. Then by the end of bar 13, and actually 14, you get a crescendo to go to fortissimo. So let's talk about that. So you start forte, which is gonna sound like right there, bar 3. I would like you to play fourth finger instead of open string. Okay? And the difference between that dynamic and bar 9 will be this. Which the first one was, and then mezzo piano, okay, and then you're gonna have the crescendo, which you're gonna increase the strokes in order for that crescendo to happen to fortissimo. So by using more bow, then your instrument will sound more. So let's play that with the metronome. Okay, let me play without the metronome. Okay, so I hope that helps. And make sure that quarter notes, every time you have the quarter notes, make sure you play the accent and you play them lengthy. So for instance, bar 8, bar 9. Okay, so make sure you play that instead of, they don't have dots, so they're like longer and full value for each one. Okay, now it's La Cucaracha, Mexican folk song. And this one is actually a 126. Let me go to there. It's a quarter note, but I want you to start feeling that in a waltz tempo. So it's, if you get the triplet subdivision in your metronome, and you get tan 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 tan, because you have to feel that you can dance this music. So the quarter note goes like this, but the accent in a waltz is always on the first beat. So it's gonna sound like this. Okay, so a couple of things that you need to notice, okay? We start mezzo forte, then you got the true forte in bar 8, and then you go to you stay forte all the way to the end, although at bar 13, pick up to bar 13, the indication there is at the frog. So you have to play that on the lower part of the bow. I'll tell you that it feels nice to play it in the middle and the tip. So if you go, if you had to play that on the lower part of the bow, it's kind of difficult and uncomfortable. But at that particular moment, I would not advise you to go all the way to the frog, but go on the lower part of the bow. So you can get that kind of sound. I'm gonna play it one more time for you, so you understand what part of the bow I'm playing, and check out the dynamics as well. 126. And I hope you noticed whenever I play the first beat, it's stronger than beat 2 and beat 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, regardless of how many notes you have in the bar. Make sure you sustain the last bar, as it has a dotted half note, which is ta and off. Great. Let's move on to the next one, American Folk Song. And that goes back to 100. Ta, 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 ta. And this is one of the songs that I would like you to use your fourth finger a little more. Let me play it first. Okay, let's talk about it. Now, if you play fourth finger, it just feels that the brightness of the A string is not interfering with the line of the melody. Okay, so let's try this. And then 4. Or you could just play. But be careful, don't get it too bright. Right? We don't want that. We want to keep it like, you know, very, very nice, rounded sound. So, there. Definitely pick up to the second bar. Actually, it needs to be fourth finger. Otherwise, we'll sound, and it will get that brightness of the string. So, then accent. Then piano, crescendo, and you get there. Okay. And lastly, this is the Danse Macabre, and it's actually 140. Let's see. 140 for the quarter note, but I want you to feel it in 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Will sound like this. Okay, just let me say a couple of things about this one. So make sure you understand what part of the bow you are. It's fortissimo and it has to be on the lower part of the bow. So even though you're playing a half and a quarter, recover your bow on the quarter note. So that quarter note has to be faster. And once you start playing the eighth note, now once you start playing the 3/4 notes per bar right before the second line, try not to rush that. So if you can play this with the metronome, that would be great. It feels like you want to go pam 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 because there's an arrival point there. But I want you to be very careful because you might get points off of your performance if you start rushing. Okay? Remember, the committee wants this to be exactly in tempo. So I'll try to play it in tempo with the metronome, and this is the whole Danse Macabre one more time. Okay, notice that the very last note, it's a dotted half note tremolo and it has a fermata. So it can be longer than 3 beats. So you can just go 2, 3, 4, and then softer. It has a dynamic regulator, that has dynamic mark that has to go to almost nothing probably. I hope this helped you. So good luck everybody, and try to be very careful when you practice. Practice slow and work your way up in tempo. Don't do it in the same practice time. You can do it 1 week, you can practice at slower tempo, then the next week you go a little bit higher, and the following week you go probably close to tempo, and then go back to slower tempo and work your way until you get used to how to play and how your body works with this type of strokes. You're playing 4 different excerpts with 4 different characters. Make sure when you start playing each one of them, you get, as yourself, you get into the character of the music, so none of them sound the same. So try to be very careful with the style and try to research a little bit what the composers do. Try to try to listen for the original versions of these pieces. Danse Macabre is a very famous one. Also, the folk song as well is very famous. La Cucaracha, you might find a bunch of versions online that you will love, but you're gonna get the style, and try to find a way to really listen for the character of each piece, and try to when you are playing and when you're doing the audition, try to impress the judges in the way that, okay, this sounds like Mexican, okay, this sounds like an English song, okay, this sounds like American. And you know, you get to that, and the other one needs to sound like more French than anything. So there are 4 different styles for you to pick, and you have to become the music when you play it. Good luck.